Well, hello, everyone. I'm Jimmie Edwards. I'm a circuit judge in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, USA. It is my honor to have this opportunity to have this short discussion with you. I've been a judge now for 25 years. For 25 years, unfortunately, I've had the misfortune, some would say, of sending many people to prison. Unfortunately, those people were becoming younger and younger. And I thought that it really didn't make a whole lot of sense to send young kids to jail when, in fact, when they were released or when they would be released from jail, they would be returning back to the exact same community and homes that they got in trouble at. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. In America, there's a concept known now as the school to prison pipeline. Unfortunately, that school to prison pipeline has a disparate and negative impact on Black and brown children. What the school to prison pipeline is an opportunity for school officials, teachers, principals, and the like to expel children from school, to suspend them long term without any reason, without a hearing in many cases. And those children are out on our streets. We cannot expect for them to have a decent life or to have any hope. The mentality of children that have been expelled from school is no different than the mentality of a slave, for example. That whole mentality of survival. And that survival mentality is not the same type of understanding, and it's not the same type of mentality that one would have that will get them in college or that will allow them to have a good, decent life. It is a mentality of survival, and oftentimes it breeds criminality or ultimately their own demise. And in 2009, I decided that it didn't make a whole lot of sense for we in America to continue to expel our children and not give them an opportunity to succeed, especially Black and brown children. You see, most of these children are in the public school system. And our public school system is a system that is the bedrock of America. Certainly, it is a system where we cannot determine who comes and who is or is not admitted into our schools. See, these are children that are in our schools that are perhaps disabled. Some are very intellectual, and others not so much so. So the public school system is a system where, unfortunately, a lot of poor children are dumped. And so nobody cares. I decided that didn't make a lot of sense for people in America. We are a strong and wealthy country. How can we not take care of children, irrespective of their station in life? And so I decided to open a school, the Innovative Concept Academy. The purpose of my school was to take those kids that nobody else wanted, bring them into our building. And this was a wonderful collaboration with the court system, which I sit, a not-for-profit in the city of St. Louis, and the public school system, because the public school system would be my referral source in addition to the court, as well as parents for children that were struggling. And so the purpose of the school was to take children, control their behavior, and give them an opportunity to have some hope. So when I met Dorothee, when Dorothee first arrived in my courtroom, I looked at Dorothee with a lot of hope in my heart. And the most important point of the film is 90 minutes long, but the most important part of the film occurred in the first. The most important part of the film occurred within the first 3 minutes of the film. She said, I like school. I want to go to school. And from that point on, for the next 90 minutes, she struggled. She struggled with respect to her boyfriend, with respect to his drug use, with respect to his criminality. She was comfortable in poverty. She was comfortable with criminality. She certainly was comfortable in death. All around her, her friends were being murdered. She was comfortable walking to school through a crime scene. You see, that was part of her life. Mm-hmm. Yet, what was consistent, though, was that she wanted to graduate high school. And because she wanted to graduate high school, in spite of all of those things, in spite of having to confront all of those negative things in her life, she wanted to graduate high school. And because of that, I decided with Dajé that I will fight as hard as she fight. And that in this scenario, you see, I understand what she was dealing with. Only thing I asked Dajé to do for me is give me an effort at school better today than you gave me yesterday. And if you give me that effort, we will continue to work toward the end, graduation. So I'd like to let you know that Dajé is doing very well today. Dajé will enroll at a junior college next semester. She is continuing her education. I think what the film has done for Dajé, it has truly instilled in her hope that she can get to the next level for Ahkeem. And so that was very important for her. So her effort and her energy continues because she understands that if she doesn't break the cycle, Ahkeem will be on the same cycle that she was put on as a result of her mom's misfortunes and as a result of her dad's incarceration. So what the film says a lot of things to a lot of folk. Of course, to me, it is how we stem the school to prison pipeline. To others, perhaps, it is a necessary film for those that are in power to reform the criminal justice system. How do we address sentencings? How do we treat poor people in our court system? But I think more importantly, for those that are involved in social action, people that are educators and social workers, certainly it's a film about compassion. It's a film about how do you treat people? You see, what's important to me in that film, as the founder of that school, when I looked at that film, I was proud because in my mind, it is what you do for others that matters most. And when I judge people in terms of how people treat poor folk, marginalized people, how they would have treated a slave, for example. Do you do good? And are you respectful, even when nobody's looking? And I think that film certainly demonstrated that. That film demonstrated that we had adults inside of that school that was willing to go an extra mile, willing to support her even outside of the school walls, willing to sacrifice themselves so that she could achieve. So it's what we do for others that matters most, is the message that I get from the film. But others will see many different variations. And I hope that all of us will see something in that film that we can internalize in ourselves. You see, if you don't see something in that film that directly impacts you, then I wonder whether you are indeed the problem. See, because this film is all about support. This film is all about the generosity of strangers. What this film, in my mind, is really about, how do we change the narrative in this world about people? That's what this film is about.